Okay, let's unpack this one. We're diving into a 2025 Japanese BL series, Love Begins in the World of If. And trust me, this is way more than just your standard office romance.
Oh, absolutely. This is a short, really stunning piece of high-concept drama. It uses a parallel universe, but not as, an escape. It's more like a scalpel for psychological analysis.
A scalpel, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because the whole fantasy element is really a mechanism for forced self-improvement. Our mission for this deep dive is to explore how this world of if becomes this profound psychological mirror. It forces our main character, Kano, to stop running from his insecurities.
And to actually earn his self-worth.
Exactly. It's what you call a reconstruction love story. It sets up these two versions of reality. One is super harsh, and the other is like a manufactured utopia to really dig into where personal growth comes from.
So it's not just a plot device, it's a literal reflection of his internal battle. Let's introduce the players. We have Akihito Kano, played by Kotaro Daigo. He's this brilliant but very reserved engineer who's been forced into technical sales.
Total fish out of water.
Completely. And then there's Seiji Ogami, the charismatic sales ace, played by Daisuke Nakagawa. And we have to say, the praise for Nakagawa is so justified here. He plays two completely different versions of Ogami, and it's central to the whole thing.
For sure. And it taps into something really universal, that lingering thought we all have. What if I'd made a different choice? Or what if I was just better at this? The show takes that what if and makes it Kano's new reality.
And his starting reality is just miserable. It's so important to get why. He's surrounded by all these extroverted sales types.
Right, people who live on charm.
Exactly. And Kano's engineer brain is just wired for technical detail. He uses this super complex analytical language when all that's needed is a handshake and a smile, and it just creates so much friction.
He's labeled as difficult.
Instantly. He feels totally misunderstood and just spirals into this massive imposter syndrome. His world feels like a social dystopia designed specifically for him.
And that's the setup for the wish. He's so burned out and isolated, and it all leads to this huge professional disaster. He misses a deadline he thought was impossible anyway.
Which leads to a very angry client threatening to cancel a huge contract. Kano feels like he's about to bring down the whole team. He's just hit rock bottom.
But there's this tiny little detail in that moment that I love. It hints at the real relationship before any magic gets involved.
Oh, the chocolates?
Yes. While Kano is pulling an all-nighter, the real Ogami, who is usually so cold and distant, just silently drops a little box of chocolates on his desk.
It's such a great bit of character work.
It is, because it shows the real Ogami is actually paying attention. He's noticed Kano's habit of reaching for sugar when his cerebral anemia acts up from stress.
And just to clarify for everyone, that's less of a modern medical term and more of an older way of describing, like, intense mental exhaustion from overwork.
Exactly. And it shows Ogami isn't just cold. He's a sink-or-swim kind of mentor, but he's watching. He notices things.
So, completely shattered, Kano ends up at this mysterious shrine with an ancient mirror, and he makes 3 wishes. He wants to fit in, earn Ogami's respect, and just be able to smile naturally.
He collapses from the stress right there, and that's the trigger. He wakes up in the world of if.
And when he wakes up in episode 2, the shift is so jarring. Visually, even. The whole color palette of the show changes from these cool, moody blues to these really warm, saturated colors.
From the work disaster. Just gone, poof. His coworkers are suddenly super friendly and supportive.
And the parallel Ogami? Wow. The stoic sales ace is gone. This version is cheerful, he's affectionate, he's Kano's biggest cheerleader. It's almost embarrassing how much he fawns over him.
I mean, we get that fan-favorite dessert date scene with the macarons.
Oh, yeah. Everyone immediately compared it to old-fashioned cupcake. It's all soft focus and sweet smiles.
It looks like a perfect utopia at first. The answer to his wish. But if you're watching closely, this is where the show gets really clever. It's a trap.
A psychological trap.
A very dangerous one. Because this sweet version of Ogami starts showing these subtle but really significant red flags almost immediately.
I remember feeling so torn watching it, because on one hand, Kano is finally getting the warmth he wanted, but you're right, something felt off. This Ogami is always like ruffling his hair, grabbing his arm.
Treating him like a fragile object.
Yes. It felt so patronizing. But isn't he just trying to be affectionate? I mean, where do you draw that line between affection and, disrespect?
And that's the genius of it. The line is agency. Affection is one thing, but this Ogami treats Kano like a kid or a pet, not a professional equal.
Right. What Kano actually needed was respect to overcome his imposter syndrome. This Ogami just gives him validation for staying small and cute.
And that suffocates him very quickly.
It does. By episodes 3 and 4, that initial happy feeling is gone. Kano realizes this kindness is actually stifling him. This Ogami protects him from every mistake.
Which means he protects him from learning anything.
Exactly. And worse, he takes the lead on their joint sales pitches and ends up taking all the credit. He's making Kano dependent.
Which brings up the most important question in this series. Is protection the same thing as support? This Ogami keeps saying, you're perfect just the way you are.
Which sounds romantic, but
It's destructive. Because gifted perfection leaves zero room for growth. This Ogami is essentially killing Kano's professional identity.
and that's the turning point. That's when Kano finally realizes the truth about this world.
Yes, it clicks. The world didn't magically get better. The parallel version of him was just humble enough to ask for help. He was brave enough to build his own connections.
He realizes the fantasy, the easy option he wished for, is dangerous because that comfort is the enemy of his own development.
It's a huge moment. He figures out that his misery wasn't just everyone else's fault. It was partly him, his own refusal to be vulnerable and risk failure. And that's the birth of Kano 2.0.
And the climax of that growth is him rejecting the fantasy. When the parallel Ogami confesses his love and asks him to move in, Kano says no.
He literally rejects guaranteed happiness.
And he says that amazing line, "You don't see me. You only see a version of me that's convenient for you."
It's the ultimate proof of his maturity. He chooses the messy, painful reality over the easy lie. He chooses agency. And then, boom, he's back. Right in that moment of his biggest failure.
Facing the angry client, contact on the line.
But this is Kano 2.0 now.
He doesn't panic. He doesn't run. He uses the courage he just found. Instead of getting defensive, he just takes the initiative. He owns the mistake. And then, right there, he proposes a real technical solution using his engineering brain.
His first earned success. He realizes he was never helpless.
Which brings us back to the original Ogami, the stoic one. And we have to reevaluate his entire character.
Absolutely. All that distance and boundary setting that Kano thought was coldness or dislike, it was actually respect.
He respected Kano's competence.
Yes. He was that true sink-or-swim mentor who was forcing Kano to stand on his own 2 feet.
But the parallel Ogami wanted a sidekick. The real Ogami expected an equal.
And their final interaction is so perfect because it's so understated. After Kano saves the day, Ogami just gives him this quiet, dry compliment. You did your job.
And Kano gets it. He realizes Ogami wasn't ignoring him. He was watching him, waiting for him to step up. They clear the air, decide to get a drink, and you see the start of a relationship between two true equals.
The series absolutely nailed that core story. The dual performances, the moody artistic production, all top tier.
Okay, we have to get into the part that didn't quite land, the pacing.
Oh, yeah. The elephant in the room. The infamous 6-episode crime.
As fans and critics all called it, 6 episodes, less than 3 hours total. It just wasn't enough, was it?
Not at all. It was a structural choice that really hurt the emotional payoff. The whole transition from that earned professional respect back to a romance felt incredibly rushed.
It did. Kano's internal journey was complete, but the external bond, it just wasn't there yet.
You have this perfect high point, the quiet drink, the mutual respect, and then it feels like 5 minutes later there's a sudden love confession and an intimate scene.
It felt inserted, a bit random even, like the story hadn't earned that specific step yet.
Exactly. This kind of nuanced psychological story needed more time to breathe. It needed maybe 8, maybe 12 episodes. Because the show was so focused on Kano's growth, the real-world Ogami never fully developed as a potential lover. We get him as a mentor.
But the shift to romantic partner was a leap.
A leap the audience wasn't really given time to make with them, even with Nakagawa's great performance making you want it to work.
So, fantastic message, but a hurried delivery on the final payoff.
Precisely. It gave us a perfect answer on self-worth, but it definitely skipped a few steps in the romance department.
Which brings us back to the core takeaways. This deep dive really shows that genuine love and self-worth, they aren't things you get from a fantasy. They have to be earned through struggle and being authentic.
Kano's final choice wasn't just about rejecting a person. It was about choosing his own resilience over guaranteed easy protection.
Yeah.
And that leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. The story shows pretty clearly that the people who challenge you might respect you more than the people who coddle you. So think about this. Is the person who lets you fail because they know you'll learn to get back up a better partner or mentor than the one who just guarantees your comfort and stops you from ever growing?
A powerful distinction between coddling and real support. Thanks for diving deep with us.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next one.